What's going on YouTube? Robbie again, and today we're going to be taking a look at WARBOTRON WB01-D Whirlwind. Whoop. Whirlwind. And yeah, so this is the fourth release. As you can see, this is the part of the picture that combines all the other boxes. And on here, WARBOTRON, WARBOTRON.com, made in China, all that good stuff. You can see Bruticus up here and Whirlwind here, and this is the much maligned, very divisive figure. Really the only super divisive figure to come from the WARBOTRON so far. And it is Whirlwind. It's their take on the Combaticon Vortex. There we go. Here he is in all of his ness. You can fill the blank on how you feel that really goes. And I don't know. I haven't actually messed with this guy yet. I think he looks okay in pictures. I don't really see anything wrong with him. A lot of people don't like the canopy in the chest. A lot of people don't like the way the gun transforms from the front of the vehicle. And that's fine. Those are all valid arguments. I'm not going to settle any of them here. I'm going to share my opinion, and you can agree or disagree with that all you like. That's fine. But I'm just going to show you what this is, and then you can make your own conclusions based on that. So yeah, looks like a pretty cool figure so far, but I mean, he's behind this little plastic prison. On the back here you can see some sort of images. We've got the helicopter mode and the robot mode here, and that's pretty much it. There's oh yes, of course, here he is a Surgeant, and he is a martial master. He is the RM'd forces of the WARBOTRON. Still haven't done anything about that, which is kind of nice. You know, keep it across the board. You know, level playing field. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get this guy open, check him out, mess around with him a little bit, and I'll see you guys right back here. Okie dokie. So in the package, you of course get the instruction manual, which is right here. It's actually just a pamphlet type manual, which is kind of weird. It seems that like they get smaller and smaller with every release. It's interesting. And you of course get the collectible card here for Whirlwind, looking pretty cool on that image. And on the back you can see his stats, skill, strength, and intelligence. And he's of course a Surgeant, and he's a martial master. Yeah, so aside from that, there's a couple little like extra bits and pieces sprinkled in the box. Not really sprinkled, but I got like, it looks like one little kind of clip. I think it's to strengthen the combiner port. I'm not entirely sure. There's nothing that I can see in the instructions about it, so I really don't honestly know what it's for, but I haven't found the need for it, so, you know, whatever. Otherwise, you get this guy, Whirlwind, also known as Vortex to Transformers fans. And this guy, you know, there's a lot of crazy talk going on about this guy. A lot of people love him, a lot of people hate him. Me, I kind of like him. But we'll get into that a little bit further. So he is a military helicopter. It seems to take its design cues fairly heavily from the Apache helicopter, but there's also a little bit of, I think, like Comanche helicopter mixed in there a little bit. But anyway, yeah, it's a big kind of snub-nosed helicopter with, looks like this could be like the radar array, and a big honking gun sticking out of the front of it, which is pretty cool. They got a nice black fade on there to kind of indicate burn from firing. This is the big sore spot for a lot of people, the cockpit, which we'll get into this a little bit more when we get to robot mode. But also, there are a few flaws with this toy. I've heard reports that these bits here, the tail fins, are flipped the wrong way on some people's versions of this. As far as I can tell, this is the correct, I think that's how it's supposed to look, as far as I am aware. It seems correct at any rate. I could be wrong, but, you know, it seems correct. Yeah, and I don't know. There's just a lot of people just have beef with this guy, and there are flaws with this toy. I'm not gonna lie, like his rotor. I have the swords pegged in all the way, and it still it won't whack against the tail, the tail fin here, but it will whack against the guiding rotor, or the directional rotor, whatever you want to call it, the tail rotor, which a lot of people also claim should be on this side of the tail fin, but it's kind of an imaginary helicopter, so whatever. Other than that, though, I mean, as you can see, it's a nice big chunky helicopter. It's really nice in hand, feels good. I haven't noticed any QC problems on this. The wheels are fine. They're just the little clip-on wheels, kind of like Blastoff had, or whatever his name is. I don't remember anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little landing gear. You just have to kind of angle it to get it to rest flat. And the big issue with a lot of people is right here in the front of the helicopter. Again, we'll get into that a little bit more when we start to get to robot mode. But other than that, I mean, his arms they're not hard to transform. It's just kind of tricky to figure out exactly what way you have to turn them. But it's pretty intuitive once you get it down once. It's like, okay, I remember how to do this. And a lot of Transformers have been like that. They got to turn a certain way. Beast Wars Transformers, oh man, you got to do those just right. But overall, it's a solid vehicle mode. And I don't know, I think it's a lot of fun. He's got these little guns you can kind of flip out to the side. And, he looks like he's got quite the bit of armament array. A lot of people complain that his head is visible in vehicle mode, and it's not. I mean, if you can see in there, if you turn the head around, there's just a little bit of yellow plastic with a screw in it. That's his his light piping, but you cannot at all tell that it's a robot head. It actually just looks like some kind, either circuitry or just machinery just going to the back of the helicopter. But if I were to have one complaint, it would definitely be this whole situation going on here where it's whacking on this tail rotor, because I am afraid that it's going to eventually snap one of these blades off just by spinning this around. So I'm trying to be gentle and not do it with enough force that even if it knocks into it, it's not going to cause any problems. Also, I don't really know why this is clear yellow plastic. That's another weird thing. I don't really get that, but I would have liked to see it just this blue plastic. I think would have been better, but maybe they just thought it needed a little splash of color back there. I don't know, but give me a second and we will take a look at the robot mode. Okay guys, so to transform this guy into robot mode, what you want to do, I guess, first, and this is the part that everybody is very kind of upset with, the original Vortex figure had his weapon in the front of the nose cone of the helicopter, and it kind of sat in the middle, in the center here, and you had to like unplug it, kind of pull it out and unplug it, and it left a little bit of a gap here, but that is like nothing compared to what goes on here. So the first step to transformation is to remove his gun, and that is this entire front end of the helicopter minus the cockpit itself, which a lot of people are unhappy with, because this is what it looks like without it. And all this is his weapon. This doesn't go anywhere in robot mode. It just it becomes his weapon, and you can twist this part around like so, and you flip this back and reveal this peg that he holds onto, and there you go, there's his gun. So a lot of people have major beef with that. And the weird thing is, if you remove these covers here, and I'll see if I can get one off fairly easily, you can see these are just screw covers, and there's a little screw in there. You just pop this out and you can unscrew it, and these come apart. And I mean, they could have had a way that this was just, you know, just in there, or, you know, you could still have this piece attached and just pull this out, you know, much more closely related to the original toy, I guess, the G1 toy, and it would have made the helicopter not look so terrible while still having, you know, a weapon available for Vortex. But they would have had to figure out what to do with this big chunk in robot mode. I mean, it's parts forming, but I don't find it that crazy terrible, because it does have a place to go in both modes, and it, you know, it's a sacrifice, but I like the way his robot mode looks, so I don't make that big of a deal about it. I know it bothers some people, and that's fine. They're totally entitled to that. But, you know, I got nothing to say. There are some very weird choices on this guy overall that I don't quite understand, but we'll kind of get with those as we go along. But this is the weapon. As you can see, it's very large, and it just goes off to the side for now, leaving this. So don't lose the weapon, or this will be your helicopter. I guess that's the ultimate lesson here. Don't lose it, or this is what you'll end up with. So let's just flip these bits up to get them out of the way. They don't have to go up, but, you know, they're just, you know, in the way. So what you want to do is just pull this bit out like so. Pull the little side winglings out like so, and then you're just gonna kind of bring them down like so. And you want to come back here and pull the fists out. Again, a lot of people have complained that the fists and the arms are loosey-goosey, not tight like all the other guys, and they are more loose. That is very true. You can, you know, move the elbow a lot more easily. You can move this in and out a lot more easily, swivel side to side, but there is no problem with him holding up that giant gun that he's got. It still holds just fine. He can hold poses, and it's just a screw, so you can even tighten it to your heart's content if you feel it's not tight enough. This is not a problem because it's not gonna fall, and even if it wants to, part of the transformation is going like that, so the furthest it can fall is you know, that far, and it's not going anywhere else. And it's actually really nice because a lot of these guys, their hands are like torture to try and get them out of their armholes, to actually reveal their hands. So let's just flip that over again while I'm ranting. So I'm just kind of going through this piece by piece. I know, you know, a lot of people are kind of crazy about this guy. Either, you know, crazy they like him, or crazy they absolutely hate him to death. So here is the combiner peg. As you can hear, it ratchets. I believe the piece that it includes is, yeah, I think there's a little piece in there. You can't really see it, but I believe it's the piece to add to Blast Off, or whatever he's called, the shuttle guy. I believe you add it to that to strengthen the ratchet in the combiner port. I'm not 100% sure on that, so, you know, there you go. But anyway, what you want to do next is come back here, just lift this panel up like so, and that'll kind of reveal that you can take these two halves, kind of bring them down just like this, and just like this. Whoop, come on. There we go. Now we're going to just split the legs completely apart, and we want to just come underneath here and just split that as well. Just be careful. And you can actually see that mine has a little bit of an issue where the this peg is a little bit smushed, a little bit mushroomed out, so it doesn't quite fit in there very well, and that's a little bit of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So just want to flip the winglings up against the tail bits, and now we're going to just bring these bits down. And this piece right here swivels independently of the rest of the leg, so you just want to kind of swivel that up and kind of tuck that. You can tuck it wherever you like, but I think it's meant to go on the side of the leg, like so. And then just make sure the foot is facing the right direction with this little black piece facing back toward us right now. And then what you want to do is just flip this out. This is going to be the foot and then the heel of the foot, just like so. And we'll just go ahead and do that quickly on this side. So I'll flip this up like so. Turn the foot around again because it'll get kind of knocked out of the way. And now we got a transformer kind of started here. So what you want to do now is pull the whole torso down like so, just like that. And then we're going to pull the front of the helicopter down, or forward and down, just like that. So it's going to just sit there on the chest, and then this bit is going to come up, and you can see here that the head is tucked in there, but obviously you can't tell it's a robot head. It doesn't look like anything back there. This is quite securely pegged into place, and that just comes down and goes in, and you can see these big pegs that were holding it up here will now tuck right into these slots on the side, like so. And then just close up the back again, turn his head right around, and there you have Whirlwind in robot mode. There we go. And, you know, his rotor still spins quite nicely, quite freely. Nothing to get in the way now, which is nice. And yeah, so a weird design choice they made on him. So the original Vortex has an all, like a purple chest and kind of like gray or, you know, other color, like body parts with this blue kind of mixed in there. They have the purple chest. They have the purple going on here, but it's covered over by this yellow canopy, which I think is part of everyone's beef. And honestly, I think they could have avoided that if they had just not even necessarily paint the canopy itself, but even if they had just given some color underneath here, like paint these bits like silver, and then the other inside of it, like the interior of the helicopter, could be purple. So even if you have this closed, you still have the purple underneath kind of showing through. I think maybe that would have been a better compromise. But right now, I mean, it's not. It's really, guys, and I mean this honestly and truly, it's not nearly as bad in hand as it looks in person, because they do have this kind of false interior underneath, so it doesn't look like a hollow area under the big yellow thing. There are these details that pop out very close to the, you know, the canopy top, so it looks like there's a complete full chest, and it even brings some color other than the yellow. But there are very noticeably raised lines on the canopy that you could easily paint if you wanted to add some color there. You could do it silver, you could do it purple, whatever you want. And I'm probably going to put a Decepticon logo on there, and that's going to fill in some space as well. So I think it'll look a lot better that way. I just don't quite understand why they covered up, you know, have all this purple here just to kind of cover it up. It seems a little strange to me of a decision, but you know. As you can see, he's got light piping, and it works pretty fantastically. He's got these lovely shoulder cannons, which, you know, are posable, which is cool. His articulation is, you know, quite the same as the other. So he's got his head on a ball joint here, like so. He's got the shoulders. He's got the in and out arms. He has another hinge here for the transformation, but you don't really want to mess with that so much in robot mode. It's not going to help you. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got the elbow bends. He's got the wrist swivel, of course. He has a waist swivel. He's got little flappies on his hips to give his hips movement, and he's got nice solid ratchets on his hips. A thigh swivel, a nice knee bend there as well. He's got swiveling feet, but you got to just hold this in place. I believe these do also unpeg, so if you're terribly opposed to them, yeah, you can just pull those right out if you wanted to. Or maybe, you know, get replacements easily enough if your pegs have all mushroomed up. But, yeah. He does have a tilt at the foot and at the heel spur, so you can get, you know, nice deep, you know, leg positioning out of there. So, he's very, very nicely posable, which is cool. He also comes with an array of weapons. As I already showed you guys, he's got the shoulder cannons, and he does have this big ol' honkin' kind of gun that I would, I guess, say, you know, I'm going to use it as like a minigun kind of thing, and that can go, you know, in his hand. And if you put down his heel spurs, he can hold that just fine, as you can see. So he's got that going on. So the arm's a little wonky. His hands do open and close. This is the only kind of joint that I would consider a little bit on the too loose side. But at the same time, this really isn't going to hold anything because you've got the curved thumb kind of holding everything in place. And I think they went a little bit overcautious, trying not to make this too thick to fit in his hand. So actually this peg is a little bit thicker, and he holds on to that a little bit more securely. So you might want to just consider that when you're posing this guy. So there you go. He's got that. One other weapon he does come with. Let's get this out of here for the moment. So one other weapon he does come with are these little pegadoos here. He's got two of them, and the bummer for me is that they don't really go anywhere in vehicle mode, but in robot mode you can plug these right onto his, I guess, forearms, as you'd call them, right? And then you can take his blades out like so, and you can either hold them in his hands, of course, like swords, or you can attach them like so. And he can have these big bladed weapons on his wrists. Or I've even seen people do this with them, because they have these kind of pegs on the side here as well. They're not quite meant to be pegs, I don't think, but they are the same size, so you can use them if you want. You may rub some paint, so just be aware of that. But you can give him a pair of pretty awesome claws as well. So very, very cool. I really do like that a lot. Also, in addition, I forgot to mention before, you can also remove these guys from his shoulders, and there is a little peg here that, if I had any thumbnails, there we go. You can also kind of pull out and either, you know, stick in his hands, sort of. They're a little short to actually put in his hand. Well, I don't know, he wants to hold on to those. They're a little short for that, but you can also kind of stick them on his forearms as well. So they work like that too. So, I mean, overall, I gotta say, I don't know if this guy fits as well in with the rest of his team as far as being, you know, his original self. Like, he's not as close to the original as the others are. They took a few more liberties, I feel, with this one. But overall, I feel he does fit in. Like, if you look at these as just a team on their own, rather than, you know, whether or not, you know, you feel he fits in as far as, like, G1 goes, And this, of course, you could put that just like so and have that attached to his back. I'm sure there are better ways to do that. Yeah, let's see if we can't find a better way to do that. Whoop. Let's see if I can't figure myself out here. I feel as though I need to check myself before I wreck myself right now. So there you go, and we can probably, I don't know, do something with that. I don't know, we'll figure that out later. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, so they took a few more liberties with this guy, I feel, but I still really like him. I think he looks like kind of the fast guy, you know, of the group. And just to kind of show you, you know, size comparisons and other general comparisons, here he is with this guy whose name, for whatever reason, I cannot for the life of me remember. Airburst. That's his name, Airburst. Finally came to me. Oh my gosh. Here he is with Heavy Noisy. And of course, we'll get him in with Sly Strike. So I think they look good. Excuse me. I think they look good as a team together. They are cohesive. They look very, very nice aesthetically. They look, you know, they look like they're cut from the same cloth. It's just that he looks like more of a departure from his Generation 1 self. And I know that bothers some of you, and like I said, you guys have every right, you know? But at the same time, personally, I think the overall combined mode looks great. I think this guy as a standalone figure is a whole lot of fun. I don't really have any problems. You know, I told you there's a few problems I have, obviously, some nitpicks there, some things that could have been made a lot better. But overall, I don't feel that this is a huge, colossal failure. I don't feel bad about getting the team and investing in this project because of this guy. And honestly, for me, he seems like one of the more fun figures to just mess around with in general. I mean, I have to say, admittedly, I think Sly Strike overall is still my favorite out of the group. But this guy, I think, is, you know, he's great on his own. I mean, he's not bad at all. The quality control is fine. Obviously, there's a few little problems here and there. But I don't think he's, like, a ruiner of the whole project, as some people are claiming. But again, you know, different opinions. You know, we're not all going to agree on everything, and that's fine. But I like him. I think he's pretty cool. I'm happy to have him in the team, and you know, I'm probably going to have them combined most of the time anyway. But that, guys, is going to do it for this review. I want to thank you so very much for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. I think the final guy, Fierce something or other, is coming out pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.